We will see the Oregon Ducks in their spring football game and kick things off by hearing from Mark Helfrich when we come back. A slightly overcast morning in Eugene, but no dampening the enthusiasm. They were lined up outside the stadium by 9 this morning to get in as the Ducks take the field wearing uniforms, once again honoring in part military service, those who serve the state of Oregon as well. That's been a theme of the Oregon Spring Games the last few years. There's perfect, very fitting accompaniment. The Oregon players with uniform members of the military. The backs of the jerseys today, instead of players' names, will say "Salute the State."
Yeah, nice job they've done with them. The patches on the side, of course, the flag facing that way as it does on military uniforms. They've done the service ribbons in a patch on one side featuring the colors of each Pac-12 opponent and opponent of the next season.
The colors being presented now to the center of the field.
Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem.
Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Oregon football has done a very impressive job of turning their spring game into a day.
Very much, Coach. One of the best years in Oregon football history last season. What can you do to make sure that there's not a drop-off going into this season?
Just consistently work harder to improve. You know, that's what we're all about. That's our whole existence, kind of what we reinforce all the time. And there's a bunch of guys that are out there to prove themselves today, and hopefully we'll just relax and play.
How's life been without Marcus Mariota, turning that new page, getting a new chapter of Oregon football?
Well, you have to do that, and if it's losing one guy or multiple guys every year, there's things that I think people don't realize how big are, you know, that aren't just that one guy that you lose, and our culture, our chemistry has to take over, and it has.
What are you looking for here today?
I'm looking to honor the troops. I know you can tell by our get up. What is it? Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. So we're trying to flatter the men and women that have served our country, and then have a lot of fun. Hopefully, stay healthy.
In football, when you have a great year, the worry is that you will have that hangover. Big breakaway.
It's Thomas Tyner gets the first carry, and of course the Ducks coming right out. The teams have been split in a draft. One thing, Glenn, as we'll see the format for the game, the teams are playing 10-minute quarters in the first half and then running clock in the second half. Jeff Locke now coming out, and he's got on his side today Royce Freeman, Byron Marshall. And right away, the pitch back, and he's got his man. Locke delivers it to Marshall.
Lockheed with the ball deep to Marshall. That second half of your defense at back level, and of course, you know, you can hide it with schemes, you can hide it with personnel up front, but eventually in close games they'll get found out. So they're going to really be looking for that next group of guys to step up.
You see Autzen Stadium like this for a spring football game. It gives you an idea of what Oregon football has achieved, how proud Oregon is of this program, how great it's been for the Pac-12 conference. No one's kidding anybody. Time there where they say they've both been very good tacklers, but this is Nelson on the offense.
And that's what you like to see. Wide receivers out helping each other, blocking down the field for you. Dwayne Stanford right there. Hands are inside tight, so there's no possibility of a hold because the official's right on it. Thomas Tyner, another explosive back. Oregon just loaded with offensive weapons again. That chip on your shoulder can really help you when you get in camp.
All right, that was a backwards throw. This is a long forwards throw, and that's a big play.
That's what I like. And this is a little lateral back. Nice form, steps into it, and throws his man open. That's a nice ball.
This is Travis Johnson from Servite High in Anaheim. And again, one of the handful of early admits to Oregon that have been able to get here and participate in spring ball. But this is a name that could be a big one come August. And Vernon Adams had huge games, including against Oregon State.
His style of play will remind Oregon fans of a Jeremiah Masoli.
Yeah, you said that.
More in that
It's a good one.
Yeah. Not as tall as Marcus Mariota.
Well, here's what we touched on. An extraordinary year. It was just a great season for Pac-12 football in 2014, and here's part of the proof of it. 7 of the top 20, 9 overall in the first round. Jeff Locke, the most experienced of the returners and the contenders, and he has been given an awful lot of praise by Mark Helfrich.
You know, he played in this offense in high school down in the Bay Area. He's a very athletic. He's got, you know, it could be as simple for him as a few games of playing with all the talent around him rather than doing it in mop-up duty at the end of games when he's got guys that aren't used to playing together.
So we'll pick up on that topic when we come back. First quarter finished of the Oregon spring game. Winning the conference championship, and Oregon earned a spot in the first college football playoff in the Rose Bowl, fitting in the matchup of the brilliant quarterbacks, Winston and Mariota. But it was a day the Ducks dominated.
And they dominated offensively and defensively. It was, I think, for Pac-12 fans, certainly fun to watch and a point of pride.
Running backs, this is the, now as you referenced them, we're going to get to that part of spring games that mean a lot to players like Panay Benoit to get a chance to play in 5 out of the 6 big categories.
And when you look at that 10-plus yard plays, that's just chunks of yardage they were getting, and they were first in the nation there, and that shows you how efficient the offense was, because in reality, what's most important to them is first downs. They don't get to third down that often. They were 8th and 3rd downs.
All right, Taylor Ali back for the goal now as possession goes again to Addison. Back to Taylor Ali. And of course, they haven't blown the whistle on that one. What a lift it will be for the Ducks in the fall. And Braylon Addison continues on his very recent, it's just been recent where they feel like he's getting it back.
Yeah, it takes so long to come back from injury, and good straight arm here. And you see the speed, the explosiveness that Braylon Addison has. If they can bring him back, remember, you had Byron Marshall last year, a running back that moved into the wide receiver spot. He had over 1,000 yards receiving. What a great 1-2 punch. You get those two guys with Carrington out there.
As a famous former Duck quarterback. And he's now going to join a list. It's been something so impressive when you come to Oregon football.
Is declined, second down.
The last few years, it's something we've seen with other great programs. USC comes to mind right away in this conference, where the former players come back. When they had their bye weeks in the pros, they come back.
Yeah, and this is a place that certainly is that way. You know,
along with Florida State, Oregon, the only two teams in major college football, the last 6 years have not allowed a kick return or punt return touchdown. 6 years they haven't allowed one. And the Ducks themselves, and that's where Addison comes in, have scored 19 of those touchdowns. Funny thing about Oregon, even though it's a shorter quarter and they'll have running time in the second half, they'll still run 1,000 plays.
Oh, yeah.
Ty Griffin, well, as a man out there, let's see, is that going to be ruled a catch? I believe so.
That's Charles Nelson playing DB.
Yes, it is.
Kept his eye on the ball. What a great job adjusting to that ball to get the interception.
All right, so Charles Nelson has caught it both ways today. He's caught 2 passes, including a touchdown. Here he catches one from the other side.
It's been a dream come true. Always been a Duck fan since I was younger. So playing for the golf team is unreal. It's a thrill, like when you're able to represent a school like this. It's incredible. Once you're on the tee, you're representing an incredible university. It's awesome. I'm Salman Raza, and I play golf for the University of Oregon.
Chris Mariota, who has gone from Honolulu to Nashville to Eugene in the last 48 hours.
That's a whirlwind tour. But I'll tell you what, I bet there's very few places he'd rather be than right here, right now.
A couple of years ago, Glenn, we came here, and I think it was his first year starting, and we had a chance to meet him and talk with him the day before a game. And you get through the story about him deciding to come here, even though at the same time they were recruiting another quarterback named Manziel.
Well, yeah, it's not only just other people telling everybody that Tony Brooks James is a little LaMichael-esque. His coaches in high school were telling him, you need to look at Oregon. DeAnthony Thomas and LaMichael James, they're the type of running back that you are. And the coaches, when he got in here, he was banged up a little bit, but when he was fully healthy, they were starting to tell each other, listen, you got to watch this kid. You have to see what he is able to do in practice. And they've said that about it seemingly every Oregon running back that comes through here. They just have a stable of guys that are able to come in here and produce right away.
The Oregon Ducks, they have a couple of challenging road games. They have the return game with Michigan State this year. And, of course, in conference, they have to play at Arizona State and at Stanford. But there could be an awful lot of interest on September 5 here.
Interesting to see the North if it can become more balanced.
Well, this has been some first half for Charles Nelson, hasn't it?
Take a look at this. He's got guys out there, but he's got nowhere to go, and he's running the wrong way.
And now taking off there is Jaylen Brown. And he's down inside the 10.
Great blocking out front for him. His big offensive linemen, they're out running in front of him. See out here, number 90, number 78, number 71 right there, Braden Eggert. Great receivers, good running backs.
Addison's a quarterback today, huh?
We saw him deliver one strike.
There's a little bit of a Russell Wilson impression, and eventually finds Carrington for a touchdown.
What's fun here is you get the idea that Coach Frost and Coach Helfrich are kind of playing with the rest of the Pac-12, showing them all this crazy stuff. I don't know. His form is lacking. He needs to get in the gym a little. See a little issue with the snap again.
Oops. There's a little issue on the defense. And that is fully capitalized on by Nelson. Nelson saying, this defensive thing, Coach, you sure? Let me show you this. Of course, that got made a little easy for him. But
yeah, your safety. What happens? Your corner comes up. Your safety's got to play. You got to insert. That was a really nicely thrown ball right there. What you see is he puts it out into a very small window, over two defenders and in front of one for Carrington here.
Look at that, even on the river. That's a different sort of water sport.
Ooh,
I like that flip.
Wow. I don't think I want to do that. I'm not coming back up.
Parker usually goes on the water standing up. You're usually not seated.
Usually not seated. No, I'm not a kayaker. That is not what I do. I'd be out there fly fishing, maybe. That would be fun. See that? I'd never come back up. I did that.
That's great. Trust me, that'll be an Olympic sport sometime in our life. You watch. The intermission. I like that. Sounds very theatrical, does it?
It does. You are correct.
Intermission of the Oregon spring football game.
If walks like a duck and quacks like a duck and goes for it on 4th down. It all starts with if. Because if becomes when, and when becomes now, and now becomes how, and how becomes wow. We if at the University of Oregon.
Thank you for giving us pride.
For the memories we will never forget. For setting the standard for every Oregon student athlete.
Being a role model for myself and my teammates.
For being someone that our brothers and sisters can look up to.
Thank you for showing us what is truly important.
For uniting a community.
For proving that nice guys can finish first.
For demonstrating how to win and lose with class.
Toward the end zone, he's got a touchdown, Oregon. Marcus Mariota.
Thank you for exemplifying what it takes to be a champion.
For being a true friend. For being a leader.
For showing the world what it means to be an Oregon Duck.
The MVP is number 8, Marcus Mariota.
The winner of the 2014 Heisman Memorial Trophy is Marcus Mariota of the University of Oregon.
Thank you.
Thank you, Marcus.
Thank you, Marcus.
Thank you, Marcus. Thank you, Marcus. Thank you, Marcus.
Parfait, Tally Lava. God bless and go down.
There have been so many good football players to come through wearing the Oregon uniform. Joey Harrington, LaMichael James, but none of them come close to what Marcus Mariota was able to do. Coaches, players, and the community alike all thank Marcus Mariota for showing what it means to be a student athlete here at the University of Oregon. And Marcus has really defined what a new normal is for a student athlete here in Eugene. We want to thank GoDucks.com for the use of that video as well.
A little pressure off the offense. You're right. They might be the team that steps up.
Well, a contender is what I'm suggesting. I'm not suggesting bowl game. I mean, playoff bowl games, but.
No, but
to make themselves a force in the North.
Right, because right now, we know there's 2 teams that are the behemoths, and then
as you see the level at which Oregon has played,
and you're always the excuse. Well, they lost Cam Newton. Well, think of all the quarterbacks that have come through here, and they've maintained the high level of play year to year. All the running backs that have come through, and they maintain it year to year. It's been a very impressive program in the last 10 years, or better. Of course, it all started with Rich Brooks starting to build it.
Well, that's nice scrambling and elusiveness from Travis Johnson. Again, this is Travis Johnson now, who is an incoming freshman. Did get a couple of series in the first half.
Do they get excited by it? When I was younger, I was excited by tradition. I loved the tradition of these teams.
Is that Carrington?
That was Carrington.
That is. That's Carrington who caught that for a touchdown.
This ball, throwing on the run, keeps his eyes downfield. That's what you like. Young quarterback being able to do that. Kind of puts it up there, and defense needs to close on that ball. Carrington, nice job attacking the ball, as you said. But this has been an entertaining spring game. As you know, Oregon always is, but they've done a lot.
What has the spring been like for you, knowing that Marcus is gone and the competition is wide open?
Yeah, it's definitely been a different feel without number 8 here. It took a little bit to get used to, but it's exciting and it's good to be in the mix.
What do the coaches tell you? What are you trying to working on this spring?
Just being, stepping up into that leadership role. We lost a lot of big leaders last year, and kind of stepping up and being more of a vocal leader and kind of getting everybody on the same page.
You were Marcus's right-hand man for so long. What do you take? What do you learn from a guy like that?
Yeah, I mean, it was a privilege kind of being that close to him for a while, and I would just say the biggest thing he taught me is just how to handle everything that comes with, being a quarterback here, whether that be success or failure. The way he went about it was pretty tough to do, and just learning that and seeing that from him was pretty cool.
Now, in this spring game, you're over on the green team, but the other side looks like they have a lot of trick plays going on. Are you a little jealous maybe of what they're doing over there?
You have to have trick plays when you're down 35-22. If Coach Frost wasn't losing by so much, he wouldn't have as many trick plays.
Overall, how has the spring been for you now, culminating with the spring game, knowing that there is a lot going on, but just trying to come out and have fun as well?
Yeah, it's been a good spring. I think I've learned a lot and gotten a lot better since the first practice, and it's going to be a lot of fun going into summer and kind of seeing how it goes in the fall camp.
Thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it, Jeff.
Thank you very much for having me.
Best of luck. Ted?
Jeff Locke from Alamo, California. That's the East Bay. So 4 quarterbacks have split fairly well split up the day. Oh, there's a nice adjustment for an Oregon. Of course, it's an Oregon touchdown. That's Casey Eugenio on the catch.
Nice adjustment by Eugenio. That ball was thrown. Defender loses his way. Eugenio keeps his eyes towards the quarterback, so he makes that adjustment with a pretty tough catch, having to turn himself around, contort his body.
That's the whole story. Glenn Iheanacho was the defensive back, didn't know. Travis Johnson fired that ball out. They've announced 35,800 the attempts. Just think about that. 35,800 for a spring football game. Again, an indication of Oregon football in this state.
And to know that how far you are from Portland, the metropolis that is for Oregon, so many people come down from there. They drive a long distance to come to this game, the spring game.
Their check-in from Mark Helfrich one more time. Jill?
Thank you, Ted. Coach Helfrich, looking at this game, what have you seen? What do you like?
Guys are competing, for the most part, playing hard. We're making a ton of mistakes, and especially at this point when there's a lot of new guys out there that are trying to communicate together. That we've made a bunch of mistakes, but playing hard.
We see Charles Nelson on both sides of the ball. I asked him, "Hey, which one do you want?" He said, "Hey, whatever they put me out there, I'll go do." But he has that ability to play on both sides. How big of a luxury is that?
Well, it's huge, and he's fantastic in special teams as well. And he's like a kid at play, on the playground. He just wants to play, do everything. What happened? And he's really good at it, and then he's tough and smart, and so that it's a pretty good combination.
Over 35,000 fans made the journey here for the spring game. The support around this team has been tremendous from the community. I know you guys want to put on a good show for them, but what does it mean to have this kind of support?
Well, it's amazing. I mean, just again, it speaks to the passion and the pride that these people have in our program, and it's awesome. It's a great day. It's a little cold for this spring, but it's been great, and to support Food for Lane County, the military, and then this year with the scholarship program, it's great.
What will be the parting message to the guys as you guys wrap up your 15th practice of spring as you head into summer?
To constantly improve, and when spring drills end, they take over, and that's where we think our culture and our chemistry kind of prevails. And so those guys have to do a great job in the remainder of spring and throughout the summer of running the show.
Finally, one wardrobe question. You guys are looking pretty good here with the military uniforms.
Those are Nike boots.
But they are Nike boots. Would you ever wear those for a regular season game?
So I might send these to Yogi. This would be in Yogi's repertoire, I think.
Perfect. Thank you so much, and we'll be looking forward to seeing the Nike boots here come fall.
Sounds good. Thanks.
Well, they've gotten their spring taste of football that'll carry them through the summer. And it'll be September 5 when the Ducks will be back on this field against Eastern Washington, the first of 7 home games that they will play as the defending Pac-12 champions.
A lot of talent coming back, loaded on offense, have to fill some holes on defense, have to find a quarterback. But I don't think anybody doubts that the machine that Oregon's become is going to keep running right through the fall.